in these filing cabinets. And then this is our flower delivery spot where florists know when they come in to put the flowers on this cart. And when they come in and I see them, I'll check them in. I'll either take the extra copy that's on there, or I'll make a copy of the flower card, and we keep copies of them all in case they get lost off of the flowers, and I'll put them in whichever room they're in currently. So we have a chapel and 4 parlors, well 5 parlors, so we got to really keep up with who's where and keep the flower cards organized in their bins, and then remember to get them and give them to the family before we leave on the graveside service. Down here we keep flag cases and bags that we put the memorial folders and everything in to give to the family. So I get that organized while the service is going on sometimes. And then back here isn't very pretty, but it's the garage area. We have these carts that we put flowers on, either to donate to Random Acts of Flowers, which that's a service you may be familiar with that takes flowers that families don't want and they rearrange them in smaller arrangements and give them to family, or give them to people in the hospitals and nursing homes who may not otherwise get flowers. So we usually give a whole lot of flowers to them every week. We keep the cremation containers here, the cardboard cremation containers, and I will, a lot of times when I'm helping downstairs, I'll come up here and get them and put them together and tape them together and bring them downstairs and help get someone loaded into one of those. And then back here is where we keep all the old files, or most of them anyway, and it's kind of a mess. It's hard to find a lot of things, so every once in a while when someone calls in and wants records from someone who died back in the 50s or whenever they died, you get to, I come back here and go on a scavenger hunt trying to find all of the files and everything back here, and they just keep going and keep going because it's been so long, and we have files from other funeral homes too. So we have most of them up here, and then we also have some in the basement downstairs, which I won't show you because you have to go through the prep room to get there. And this is our workbench area. I don't really do much back here besides use the refrigerator, but our maintenance staff uses this back here. Let's see, I think that's all back here. I'll show you the funeral director's office. So this is a little bit of a mess because we're going to be redoing the floors. But this is where funeral directors will come out and work on their cases, and I sit out here a lot and practice on HMIS or help them put in a case. I do printing off of that computer. I work on Excel spreadsheets tracking things for Fred, which is our market manager. He's got me doing a lot of that stuff. I scan in a lot of pictures for movies and make movies out here. That's our laminator I use to make bookmarks. So it's kind of our home base. I've tried to organize this about 5 times, but to no avail so far. This is where we keep the funeral flags. I carry those outside and put them on cars as we line up the procession. And then here is a lounge. Sometimes I'll eat lunch in here. Jeff brought us Dunkin' Donuts today because of the weather. It was real sweet of him. This is where I get coffee every morning. And then in here is a storage room, and I'm actually in charge of keeping all of the memorial folders and memorial packages up to date. So I organized in here, and I take inventory every week or so and make sure there's nothing I need to order, and I order it and then restock it and everything. So I do that. Another thing that I do is I keep up with all the fire extinguishers. I inspect them every month, and then I call once a year and get the firemen to come and do their inspection. So I had him do that last month, but we've got a whole bunch of them in all of our vehicles and all over the funeral home, so I do that once a month. Now I'll take you back in and we'll look. We can't really look at very many of the visitation rooms because we've got so many decedents in them right now, but I'll show you where they are. So coming back through here. There's our main lobby again. This is a little room families like to visit in, or just if we have a real small gathering, we'll put it in here. I like this room a lot. And then our visitation rooms, here's one of them, and like I said, I can't show you inside, but we've got 4 of them going down this big hallway here. So, and those have the partitions that we can open or close as we need to, so that just depending on how big the family needs or how much we need. So that's where those are. And then Kelly Berry's office is around here to the right, and she's the director of the aftercare program and community relations. So sometimes I help her getting catering set up or doing her newsletters, so I'm back in her office helping her sometimes. And in these visitation rooms, pretty much what I do in there is I make sure the family's got water, I talk to them about what they need, where the bathrooms are. I will take people into first views in those visitation rooms quite often. Yep, so that's what I do in visitation rooms. And then downstairs is the prep room. I can't show you in the actual prep room, but I'll just show you right inside the garage where the call car is kept. We also have a bathroom down here. So that's the garage where our call car is kept, in the refrigeration unit back there. But I can't show you anymore for as far as that goes. Now we'll go upstairs. And there is an elevator back here. The end of this hall is that handicap entrance I showed you from outside. This funeral home can be a little bit of a maze sometimes, so I'm always telling families how to get places and where to go and leading them places. So this is the level the chapel is on. And here to our right is our event room, where we do a lot of catered events. Right now it's set up UT themed because we're having a catered event tomorrow that the man was a really big UT fan. So we're going to play UT football on the TV and just have a UT party in here. But when I wait on families, I'll come in here and offer them coffee, and we'll make cookies and offer them all that in here. And that way they also get to see the event room, just so they can see what kind of facilities we offer. I will also, while there's catering going on, I'll make sure the family doesn't need anything. I'll help the caterer get set up, and I'll help clean up and change the decorations out and everything as we need to. So coming this direction, this is the family room. This is where the family comes before the service to have a prayer with the pastor and while we're closing the casket and everything. So we have this room here for them and for the ministers to get ready and pray and put on their vestments if that's the case. And this goes all the way to the front of the chapel. So there's the pulpit and everything where the preacher can preach from. In this room, I help the ministers get ready. I give them time frames, like it's about 5 minutes to the service and everything, and then whenever the funeral director says it's time to start, I'll show them where to go to sit, and I'll lead them in. Also, if the family's leaving for the closing of the casket, I'll take the family out through this door right here, and then I'll take them back in and have the congregation to stand up, and then let them sit back down after the family's seated. So this is our chapel. These chairs are very, very new. We replaced our pews this week with chairs, and it'll just be a little bit easier to manage. We have more room in the aisles and everything, and those pews were getting really old, and some of them were broken, so we just replaced those. I bring flowers up here quite a bit. I'll set up these stands and pedestals and arrange them so that they look really nice. I bring families in here for first views, and then I work visitations and services in this room, directing people to the bathrooms and the register book, and if we get a really big line, just making sure people know where to go and what to do. I've got this rug out because of the snow. Up in the balcony there is where all the sound equipment is, and I stand back here and open the door for people coming in this back way during services. And I put the register book there, and we have a copy of one on the other entrance. This is actually where we control the TV in the event room, so that's kind of a fun thing to come back. I come back here and play the DVD and then have to run back and forth to adjust the volume and everything. So up here, I help the musicians, if there are any, and give them cues on when they need to play, and do sound checks and everything. I look for music in these old hymnals if people have requests, or we have a big CD library. Oops. I videotape services. I run the soundboard. There's a DVD player that I run DVDs from and control the projector screens. We've got two, one on either side. I can CD record services and pretty much anything relating to the technological side. I do that very often. So now we'll go back down. I'll show you one of the arrangement conference rooms. The other one is in use right now. One of our funeral directors is waiting on a family. But if you go that way and around the corner is one of the arrangement conference rooms. And I wait on families in there. Here's another one of our arrangement conference rooms. I wait on families in here, get them cookies and coffee, and talk about the arrangements they would like to make, offer them packages and catering, and fill out the death certificate.